no problem, no problem, no problem, it's just no problem. Steady Eddie is always ready to make that delivery on time. Doesn't matter if it's raining, you won't find him complaining. For Steady Eddie it is no problem. No problem, no problem, no problem, it's just no problem. Can he carry a heavy load? No problem. Can he drive safely down the road? No problem. Can he go long distance? Can he drive all night? Will he make sure the delivery gets there all right? No problem. No problem, no problem, no problem, it's just no problem. Steady Eddie is always ready to make that delivery on time. Doesn't matter if it's raining, you won't find him complaining. For Steady Eddie it is no problem. No problem, no problem, it's just no problem. It's just no problem. No, I can do it. I really can. No problem. Absolutely no problem. It was a cold and snowy morning in the depot as Steady Eddie pulled out of his garage and had a look around. Hey, what's been going on? He asked. Last night when I went to sleep, the hills were green, the depot kind of normal looking, and now everything is white. It's been snowing, said Loretta. Isn't it beautiful? Well, yes, said Eddie, slightly concerned, but I've got a delivery to make this morning, and if the roads are covered in snow, then it could be difficult. Oh, yes, you'll have to be very careful. It might be very slippery out there, warned Loretta. All of a sudden, there was a rattling and a clattering heading from the warehouse. Mind your backs, hooted Freddie Forklift as he shot out of the warehouse and squeezed his way between the trucks. Careful, warned Eddie and Loretta at the same time. But they were too late. Freddie Forklift was driving too fast, and when he tried to stop, he skidded right across the depot into a large pile of cardboard boxes. Oh no, said Loretta. Are you all right? All right, all right, laughed Freddie Forklift. That was fun! And he whizzed back across the depot. Whee! He went, skidding and sliding past Steady Eddie. Whee! He went, doing a little pirouette in front of Loretta. Oh, I love the snow! And with that, he headed back into the warehouse to get Steady Eddie's delivery. He's mad, said Steady Eddie to Loretta. No, he's not, said Loretta. He's just having fun. Freddie shot into the warehouse, and it wasn't long before he had found what he was looking for. 3 bales of hay and some cattle feed, he said to himself, for the farm over the other side of the town. And with that, he picked up the hay and headed a little more carefully this time out of the warehouse. Coming through, he shouted, and loaded the bales of hay onto the back of Steady Eddie. Just the cattle feed left, and then you can go. And with that, he raced off, skidding and sliding back into the warehouse, shouting, "Whee! Whee!" as he went. Oh, you are right, Eddie, laughed Loretta. He is mad. Toot, toot, went Freddie as he came out of the warehouse with the cattle feed and loaded it onto the back of Eddie. Now you be careful out there, Steady Eddie, because with all this snow and ice, the roads might be very slippery. Thank you for the warning, said Eddie as he pulled out of the depot and headed off on his delivery. No problem, just no problem. No problem, it's just no problem. Steady Eddie is always ready to make that delivery on time. It doesn't matter if it's snowing, he knows where he is going. For Steady Eddie, it is no problem. No problem, it's just no problem. No problem at all. It's just no problem. Can he carry a heavy load? No problem. Can he drive safely down the road? No problem. Can he go long distance? Can he drive through snow? Will he make sure the delivery gets there? You know, it's no problem. Just no problem. No problem at all. It's just no problem. Steady Eddie is always ready to make that delivery on time. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, he knows where he is going. For Steady Eddie it is no problem. No problem. It's just no problem. No problem. It's just no problem. Always ready to help. It just won't be a problem. No problem. By the time Steady Steady Eddie arrived at Mr. Kelly's farm, it was snowing quite hard. "Oh, thank heavens you're here," said Farmer Kelly. "I was a little worried that you might have got stuck in a snowdrift." "Oh, no, no. Snow is no problem for me," said Eddie. "My big wheels grip the road really well." "Well, that's good," said the farmer. "With all the snow that's on the ground, my cows can't eat the grass, and they haven't had anything at all day. They're hungry." "Then we'd better get unloaded," said Eddie, opening his curtain. While Farmer Kelly unloaded the hay and cattle, Sarah and Michael, his two children, were tobogganing down a snow-covered hill. Steady Eddie watched on enviously. It looked like they were having a lot of fun whizzing down the slope and into the woods at the bottom of the hill. All of a sudden, Eddie heard some shouting and saw Sarah running towards him. "Oh, hello, Steady Eddie! Is Dad around?" she asked in a panic. "He's just feeding the cows," said Eddie. "Why, what's the matter?" "Michael has hurt himself. When he came down the hill, he couldn't stop. He bumped into a tree. Oh, I think he's hurt his arm." "Oh, no." "Don't worry, Sarah," said Eddie. "I'm sure he'll be all right, but I'll call your dad for you." And Steady Eddie gave 3 loud hoots on his hooter. "What's the matter?" asked Farmer Kelly as he rushed back to Eddie. "Michael has hurt himself," said Sarah, pulling her dad towards the trees. "He crashed into a tree with his toboggan." "Eddie," said Farmer Kelly, "can you tell my wife to call an ambulance while I go and see what has happened?" "No problem," called out Eddie after him. Eddie did what Farmer Kelly had asked, and it wasn't long before Michael was sitting in the back of the ambulance ready to go to hospital. But as the ambulance went to drive off down the road, it got stuck. The snow was too deep, and its wheels kept spinning around. It was going nowhere. "Oh no," said Farmer Kelly. "What are we going to do now? Michael needs to get to hospital so the doctors can make his arm better." "Don't worry," said Eddie. "I have an idea." And he quickly told Farmer Kelly his plan. It wasn't long before Farmer Kelly had attached 2 barn doors to the front of Steady Eddie as he had suggested. "Okay, follow me," said Steady Eddie to the ambulance. "I'll clear the road for you, and we should be at the hospital in no time." And he drove off down the road. Steady Eddie's plan was working. The barn doors worked like a snowplow, pushing the heavy snow to the side of the road, making it easier for the ambulance to follow. It was hard work, but Steady Eddie was not going to give up, and he kept driving towards the hospital. "Thank you," said the ambulance. "I don't think I would have made it here without your help." "Oh, that's no problem," said Steady Eddie. "I think I'll wait here for a while. Will you let me know how Michael gets on?" "I'm sure he'll be fine." "Toodaloo," said the ambulance as she drove across the empty car park to the hospital entrance. So Steady Eddie sat in the snow to wait for any news on Michael. As he sat there trying to catch snowflakes on his tongue, he heard some laughing and giggling from one of the upstairs windows. Some of the patients in the children's ward had been watching him. "Hello!" shouted Eddie to the children, and they all waved back. It can't be much fun being in hospital, thought Steady Eddie, and not being able to play in the snow. So he decided to try to do something to cheer the children up. He started his engine, tooted his hooter, and slowly started driving around the empty car park, sometimes going forwards and sometimes going backwards. The children watched on, trying to work out what he was doing. As Steady Eddie drove round, he started squashing down some of the snow. "He's drawing a picture!" shouted one of the children as Eddie drove round and round. "I wonder what it's going to be!" shouted another as Eddie reversed and drove forwards again. I know what it is!" shouted Michael from the window with his arm in plaster. "It's a clown!"
Steady Eddie had drawn the face of a clown in the snow, and all the children clapped and cheered him.
Are you feeling better?
Called Eddie up to Michael.
Yes, I'm all right.
Called back Michael.
I broke my arm, but the doctor said it won't take long to get better. So thank you for helping me to come to hospital.
No problem, said Steady Eddie. I'm glad you are all right, but now I think it's time I headed home. It's getting a little cold out here.
Thanks for your help, said Farmer Kelly, who was standing next to the ambulance at the hospital's entrance.
Yes, thanks,
Said the ambulance.
I don't know what I would have done had you not been there. Super. No problem,
Said Steady Eddie, as he drove off back to the depot with Farmer Kelly, Michael, and the other children waving goodbye.
Jock, Loretta, Oliver and Eddie, 4 big trucks that are ever ready to make that delivery to carry your load. See if you can spot them driving down the road.
They're driving, just
Driving down the
They're
road.
driving, just driving.
Loretta Lorry, there she goes, driving down the road. I'm always pretty, I'm always smiling, I'm always careful with how I'm driving. I'm Loretta. Loretta Lorry,
They're
that's
driving,
my name.
just driving. They're driving, just driving.
Jock the tanker, there he goes, off on a long, long drive.
I'm always cheerful, I'm never tired. Oh, let's hope I've enough fuel for the ride. I'm Jock. Aye, Jock the tanker.
They're driving, just driving. They're driving, just driving.
Jock, Loretta, Oliver and Eddie, 4 big trucks that are ever ready to make that delivery to carry your load. See if you can spot them driving down the road.
They're driving, just
Driving down the
They're
road.
driving,
Oliver overdrive, there he goes, roaring down the road. I'm never helpful and I'm never smiling. I'm not really bothered how I'm driving. I'm Oliver. Yeah, Oliver overdrive. Yeah, I'm a lot better than all of you. I can drive faster than any of you. Jock, Loretta, Oliver and Eddie, 4 big trucks that are ever ready to make that delivery to carry your load. See if you can spot them driving down the road.
They're driving, just
Driving
driving.
down the
They're
road.
driving, just driving.
Steady Eddie, there he goes, safely down the road. I'm always helpful and I'm always smiling. I'm always careful with how I'm driving, 'cause I'm Eddie. And I'm Steady Eddie.
They're
Driving
driving,
down the road.
just driving.
No problem.
They're driving,
No problem
just
whatsoever.
driving.
Jock, Loretta, Oliver and Eddie, 4 big trucks that are ever ready to make that delivery to carry your load. See if you can spot them driving down the road.
No problem.